Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because it is going to be a collab with my YouTube bestie, Emily from Emily and Max. She is the first person that I ever collabed with on YouTube. I absolutely love and adore her. I actually did get to meet her in person, stay with her at the Creators and Friends event in Vegas in 2023, and I miss her so much, and I wish that we were just hanging out right now, drinking wine, gossiping. Like, it was literally like when we got together and like we're talking, I'll never forget, we were eating, I think it was Baja Soul or like Baja something, delicious nachos and burritos while we were in Las Vegas and just like chatting about life. And it was honestly, it just felt like I was chatting with someone who I had been friends with for decades. So I absolutely love Emily. She also is someone who has inspired and encouraged me to get back into reading. I haven't been the best at reading this year, but I love her book channel as well. She has a makeup channel, and then she has like a reading and lifestyle channel. It's mostly bookish content, but then she like sprinkles in some lifestyle content here and there. I will leave her link down below. I absolutely love her. She is like the queen of creating amazing project pans as well. She's from Canada, so she's my neighbor here in Minnesota. Just kidding, I wish we lived a lot closer. I feel like we're like at least 10 hours apart, which is so sad. But anyway, I love Emily, and if for some reason you have not found her channel, please go check her out. And she had this wonderful idea to film a wish list, an indie wish list eyeshadow, an indie eyeshadow wish list video. She brought this to me many months ago, and then she filmed hers, and I was like, yep, I'm getting to filming mine this weekend, and it has been probably at least 6 to 8 weeks since then. Emily knows why I have struggled to be filming. So Emily, thanks for being patient with me, but I'm very excited to be finally bringing this video, and I'm so excited to see what palettes are on Emily's wish list. So if you guys are interested in what 12 palettes are like on the top of my wish list when it comes to indie palettes, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content, palette themed content, or just hanging out and chit-chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Okay, if I'm looking down, it's because I have my list in front of me, and this is really in no particular order. I'm gonna scoot over to the side so I can post pictures over here. I will say I have become an indie eyeshadow palette girly over the last 2 years or so, but historically, indie eyeshadow palettes are quite expensive, and I can't buy them all. I can't buy them all. Which makes me so sad. I wish I could. And so nevertheless, there is still a long list of palettes that I am interested in. The first is from Adept Cosmetics, and really any of the Adept palettes that have released this year or last year, definitely they always catch my eye. I'm doing a double take. I'm doing like the side eye. Like, they make beautiful eyeshadow palettes. They have beautiful special formulas. I would say at the top of my wish list from Adept would be the Amy Loves palette. I just feel like that looks like such a pretty palette. It's a lot of cool tones, which I feel like, I was gonna say I feel like I lean towards cool tones, but then I've like really been into a warm brown eyeshadow look lately. But I just think this palette looks so sparkly, so pretty, so like princess-like, and I just definitely always still am looking to purchase that palette. It's been out for a while, released for a long time, and still I'm always thinking about that palette. So that is definitely one. I know I said this is in no particular order, but probably at the very top of my wish list. I've almost ordered this several times and then been like, no girl, you don't need this, but I'm constantly thinking about this eyeshadow palette. It's from Unearthed, and it is the Murky Meadow eyeshadow palette. First of all, there's a pop of like neon in there. I love a bright neon. Not necessarily for eyeshadow, but I do love a bright pop of neon in the inner corner. And then it's just these like beautiful brown tones with the pop of neon. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I feel like you couldn't curate a more perfect palette in my opinion. I love that it's smaller, it's a 9-pan, there's not as many options, like it's just kind of straightforward and to the point, and I will likely purchase that palette before the end of the year. I know Unearthly usually does a sale around Black Friday, and I'm always curious about what they're going to be launching next because they are one of my top favorite indie eyeshadow brands as well. And speaking of that, another palette on my wish list is the Gargoyle palette. I have every time I'm on Unearthed's site ordering something, I put that in my cart, and then like I somehow talk myself out of it because I'm like, I don't want to spend $200 on eyeshadow today. So I have talked myself out of it, but it looks like such a beautiful, again, like murky, cool tone. There's some really beautiful, like special shades in there. I love blue eyeshadow, and there's some, you know, hints of like blues and purples in there that I can't deny are so beautiful. So that is definitely one on my wish list as well. An indie brand I have not purchased from yet and am always curious about, but for some reason have just kind of held back from ordering, is Krypton Cosmetics. And they recently launched the Emerald City eyeshadow palette. Beautiful green eyeshadow palette, especially for the fall. So I feel like it's the perfect time for this palette to be launching. Something about greens and grungy greens this time of year just absolutely captivate me. And there are some really interesting kind of, not even like marbled shades, but almost like these shades that flow from like a lime green to like a teal, or like a green to like a yellow to like an orange, but they're not marbled. I don't know, there's just some really interesting looking shades in there. Again, I've never tried their formulas. I'd be really curious about their special shadows. Also just curious how their mattes blend. And just kind of looking at this, I just feel like the selection of matte greens are all just those murky, grungy greens, which I really like. Sometimes when we teeter more into like the teals, or we get like too much blue green, it's just like not really my vibe. Or when there's too many like bright greens, I'm like, I don't know. But I do love a grungy, murky, kind of poopy sort of green, and that is exactly what this palette is giving us. And so this is definitely one on my radar. If you guys have tried Krypton Cosmetics, I would love to know your experience, both with the mattes as well as their special shadows. Let me know what you think. It's always scary to order from a new indie brand for the first time, just because you never really know what you're gonna get. You never know. Okay, a palette that has been on my wish list for so long. I think this was Angie's like #1 palette. I want to say in 2023. I could be wrong, but I think it was. It is the Cosmic Beauty Winter Wonderland palette. I know Emily owns this palette. She has raved about this palette. She's spoken really highly of it. And every time I'm ordering from Cosmic Beauty, I think about buying this palette. There's these beautiful purples. There's this like perfect periwinkle shade, which I love a periwinkle. There's blues. There's a lot of like special shades happening in here. For some reason, I just can't ever like hit, like I hit add to cart and then I take it out of my cart before I hit purchase. I think part of it is I don't reach for purples as much anymore, although I'm just looking at that like lavender periwinkle and I'm like, it's so pretty. Also the like silvery gold in there that almost has like a bit of like pewteriness to it looks so pretty. But there are some like blue greens or just some blues in there that aren't my vibe. So I'm like, there are some really dark shades in there. There's a really beautiful cobalt shimmer blue. I'm like, I still do really want this. Also, there's like this marbled, beautiful, like teal purple, like multi-chrome in there. It looks so pretty. Cosmic Beauty, their prices, they keep it low for indie in my opinion. And their quality is always so good. I don't know if I'll ever buy this one. I don't know, because I always think I'm gonna buy it the next time Cosmic Beauty launches something that I want, and then I talk myself out of it. But it does look so pretty, and it has literally been something I think about since like this launch. Another indie brand I am very curious about, they have been on my radar for a while, but there's just not been that launch yet that has like pushed me over the edge to purchase, is Gourmand Girls. And I almost purchased the Mocha Moment palette, but still talked myself out of it. The only reason I talked myself out of it is I felt like there was almost, like I felt like it was almost more pink leaning than I wanted than like true browns. I still think it looks so beautiful. I've seen some really beautiful looks created with this palette, and for indie, this is more of a like neutral palette, like a spicy neutrals palette, which I sometimes like. I've been leaning more towards more neutral tones this year and not as much color, so I feel like this is kind of speaking to me in that sense. The special shades look really beautiful. They almost look more just like metallic, like punchy metallics rather than true special shades, except for maybe like one. So that's another thing I was like, do I want to try something that maybe has more like multi-chromes in it? Although I don't always even really love a multi-chrome. The other thing kind of holding me back is I feel like there's a lot of dark mattes in here, but not a lot of light shades. So Ultimately, I decided not to do this. That's not to say I never won't. It's definitely still something I'm thinking about because I am really curious about Gourmand Girls. And if you guys have tried Gourmand Girls, let me know what palette you own or palettes and what your thoughts are on the formula as well. Next is the Krypton Cosmetics On Topper The World palette. This is, I think, in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 9 pan palette. All topper, all shimmer shades, which I don't mind. I actually love like a companion topper shade, or like a companion all sparkly palette. I am fine with that. I'm fine creating just like my base look and then going in with one shadow, one special shadow. In fact, I've been even more into that this year. It is $77 though, and I'm like, it kind of just looks like a rainbow. Like I definitely don't need it, but I do love Cleo's shadows. I think everything looks really pretty. That blue shade looks, the two blues actually. There's one more like cool toned blue and then one kind of like aqua pool water blue. Those look so pretty. The greens, even the purples, the yellow. I love yellow. This is something that I may buy someday. I'm not denying I'll never buy it, but I didn't buy it right away because it's expensive and I definitely didn't need it, but definitely something that made me do a double take. Okay, this is a newer release and I think this is so freaking beautiful. This is something I can definitely see myself purchasing in the very near future. It's from DD Signature, which I've also never tried anything from DD Signature, and their Broken Jewels palette just, I can't even, like, it looks so freaking beautiful. I could see myself buying this weekend. If I win a sports bet this weekend, this is a palette that I'm buying. Again, I'm really interested in trying DD Signature for the first time. The special blue shadow, I am like we're hearting, we're wide-eyeing. It looks, oh my gosh, so stunning. Also the like lime green sparkly shade, oh, it looks so pretty. There's like that satin taupey metallic, which would be so perfect just for like an everyday neutral. I feel like this is a good balance of like, there's definitely some neutrals in there to ground the palette. We've got a couple of pops of blue, which I love a pop of blue. We've got a couple of pops of green, which I love a green. And then there's like this beautiful, rich kind of orangey gold in there. With that red, I honestly feel like you could do some really beautiful, just like a bright, fiery, smoky eye, especially that like, that pink special shade too. That multi-chrome looks like one of those like multi-chrome, peachy, pinky, sort of shifty shades that I just love. Oh, this is sold out. Dang, it's sold out right now. If they do a restock of this, I will be buying. Oh, it looks so freaking pretty. Okay, the next palette is the Singe Beauty Galactic Visitor palette. I wanted to buy this so badly at launch, but I was feeling so overwhelmed by all the palettes that I was still trying to test out, try, and review at the end of last year that I was like, I need to just wait. I need to just wait. And then I waited and I just never went back to buy it, but it looks so pretty. I love Angie. I love the outer packaging of this palette. Like, I feel like you could not have a more perfect theme. Just what a fun freaking theme. I think everything in this palette looks really beautiful. I like that we have the cool tones and the warm tones. I think that burgundy matte shade looks so pretty. I like the yellow matte, even the like peachy matte. And Angie is just like the queen of eyeshadow looks. So I feel like her palette has to be fantastic. Also, some of the special shades with like the blue hints, or like the blue tones to it, like we love a blue over here. So next, I have never tried Electrum Cosmetics, and honestly, if you guys have tried them, let me know your favorite palette, because really just the brand as a whole is on my wish list. I don't necessarily have a specific palette picked out, although their newest launch, the Prismatic Streams, looks so freaking pretty. The purples, the blues, the green, the gold, that looks so pretty. That looks like such a fun companion palette to have in the collection. I just, again, have really no idea. I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about Electrum Cosmetics, so I just have not a clue what the formula would be like, if I would like it. And again, when you're spending so much money on indie, it's just always nerve-wracking, that first purchase you make with a brand. Interstellar from the Prismatic Dream, so I'm like, that looks so pretty. This is something I may have to buy too. Like, may have to buy if we win a sports bet this weekend. It looks so pretty. Please let me know if you've tried anything from Electrum. Speaking of companion palettes, the Diveroon Do Drops 2 is also on my wish list. I actually have a little bit of the Diveroon Do Drops palette on top of my look today just because I wanted to like spice it up just a little bit. I love my Diveroon Do Drops palette. I love this cute little 6-pan companion palette. All of the special shades, it's 6 special shades. They're all so special, so fun, so punchy, so beautiful on the eyes. The only reason I haven't bought Do Drops 2 is one, I really must have missed the launch and didn't really know this existed until recently. Also, Do Drops 2 is like all blues. I'm like, girl, except for like one red. Like, girl, we need this. But it's $66 for 6 shades, which I know ultimately for like an average of like, I think it's like $10.10 per special shade. That's really not bad at all, but it's just so hard. It's just so hard. But I'm sure I would love that palette, especially in the winter time. Just creating like a matte cool tone base and then just going in with those beautiful blue toppers. Ugh, would be so good. So maybe, especially if it's on sale, maybe I would buy that. And then finally, my 12th palette is the Nomad Cosmetics Route 66 palette. I used to go on road trips with my family every single spring break. We would drive from Minnesota to Jekyll Island, Georgia, and then for my senior year we drove to the West Coast, so we drove down to like Laguna Beach, California. My family was all about the road trips. So although road trips now make me anxious because sitting in a car for longer than like an hour and a half, my mind is just spinning with like everything I could be doing if I wasn't in a car, like all the tasks that I could be getting accomplished if I wasn't in a car, and I just can't do it. And if I stare at a screen or if I read in the car for too long, I get nauseous, so I like really can't do a whole lot other than like sing to myself or listen to a podcast. So road trips, maybe not, well, maybe they are road traps. Not my thing anymore, but there's something so nostalgic about the Route 66, like that palette. I'm like, ugh, it looks so fun. Nomad doesn't make my favorite formula, so that's part of the reason I didn't buy this right away. I also feel like this palette of many of the Nomad palettes didn't get like the highest praise. I would get some use out of it, probably not the most. I think the pop of hot pink is just like really fun to look at, but I wouldn't actually wear it on the eyes. The mattes that are like the teal, the blue, the green, I probably wouldn't really, like, I realistically wouldn't get a ton of use out of this palette, but just for the theming and like the fun of this palette, it definitely is still on my wish list. It definitely is. If it was really cheap during Black Friday, because sometimes Nomad does really good Black Friday deals, maybe I would buy it. And then I probably wouldn't use it that much and I'd regret it, but still. Let me know if you guys have this one and what your thoughts are. After that though, that is going to wrap up and conclude today's video. Those are the 12 eyeshadow palettes that are currently at the top of my wish list when it comes to indie brands. I would love to know what is top of your palette wish list when it comes to indie brands. Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.